Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome back, everybody. So let's keep going with the Forex markets. I think that today it makes sense to continue discussion of the Great British Pound, because yesterday we talked about a few trading setups here, and it's also a bit longer term perspective is interesting what might happen here and how we should treat this recent pullback, whether it has some, well, maybe far-going consequences for performance on the cable, or it's just too early to make some suggestions and maybe the reversal might happen to the downside very soon. So in general, we should not be surprised with this a bit thrusty upward action. It's just because recall what we talked about the long-term analysis of the cable. Market stands at the result not only on the daily chart and then the weekly XOP, but also on the result on the monthly chart. And that's why the upward performance, and it might be even strong performance on the lower time frame, especially daily intraday charts, it is not something really special. So this is, well, it's a normal market reaction when it stands in long-term oversold area, and it might show even deeper upward bounces. And personally, I would not be surprised if we will get it. But currently at this point, since we have the bearish trends on the daily and the monthly chart, and take a look on the daily trend, where also it stands bearish, we suggest that overall context also stands bearish. And as market hits the predefined confidence resistance, we talked about this as possible target of the pattern on hourly chart. I will show a bit later. Let's take a look. It's rather strong resistance area. So we have the 24 confidence resistance, these two levels, and it's accompanied with the daily overbought. Trend stands bearish. So theoretically, this pullback might be faded against major trend tendency, and potentially here it might be some setup for taking the short position, because currently it might happen that downside action could continue right from here, because overall situation in all countries, including euro currency in Europe, Great British Pound, it's not hardly it could be called as a positive. The same you could see on other markets, not only on the Forex, on the gold market, for example, on the euro currency, it also has jumped some resistance area, and trend still stands bearish. So with this pullback on the euro currency, we'll also talk about this. It's possible, if you remember, some kind of the diamond shape that we discussed recently. If you remember, we said just wait when the market shows the pullback. Maybe it lets you to take a position closer to the resistance area. Do not take short position here. So the same story on the cable. On the 4-hour time frame chart, the major intrigue stands with this pattern. So to start something bigger, market should make the background, make the foundation for this bigger action. And most common foundation is, of course, the pattern. So if monthly oversold condition will be able to trigger deeper upward bounce, higher upward bounce, this probably should start with some larger scale bullish pattern, and potentially it might be the hand shoulders here on 4-hour time frame chart. But you can see here's still a long way to go, is because market hasn't quite reached even the neckline. So first it should keep going higher, and only then starts forming right arm that could let us that's possible to take in the long position with a bigger upward extension. So, and that is not obvious yet. That's definitely will happen. And to understand it better, we need to keep an eye on the hourly chart, because hourly chart is able to answer on different questions. So first of all, what I would like to say is that as you can see, both our patterns worked nice. Yesterday we said this might be the bread and butter sell right here on the 4-hour time frame chart. It was right from the resistance area. Here was resistance, if you remember. We talked and we said keep an eye on the 618 pullback. This should be the target of the bread and butter. On the hourly chart, you could see Market drops precisely to the 618 level. That's perfect. And right from this level, as you can see, they have next pattern that we also discussed in hand shoppers started. With this upward direction, you can see that we have thrusty acceleration with the CD leg. At least market is broken through the OP, hasn't quite reached the XOP. XOP, by the way, stands very close to the daily level. So here's 2478. On the daily chart, we have 2386, 2455. So it makes an agreement with the major conference resistance on the daily and daily overbought. So if you would like to take the scalp short position, you probably have to anticipate this possible action, and anyway you have to place stop above the XOP, because with this performance, when you see the acceleration of the CD leg, market is not at overbought yet. Chances that market could proceed high and trying to complete XOP stands high. This is also maybe makes sense for those of you who are holding long positions with this pattern. Currently, despite this pullback, it may be a bit too early to close it, as because it has good chance maybe to complete the XOP. The one thing that we have to keep an eye on, because it might be very important, is the neckline. It's because if general minimum target of the pattern already is done, because OP has been completed, and if market somehow starts falling, keep falling and drop below the neckline, this will be early sign that hardly we will get any further upward continuation, and hardly we will get the 4-hour time frame head and shoulders that I showed you. So to keep bullish context, market should not drop below this area. So this is very important for the medium-term perspective. That's what we intend to keep an eye on the Great British Pound. So until market stands about, we could stay focused on the XOP, we could stay focused on the daily major resistance. Those who would like to take the scalp short position have to wait for completion of this target around confluence. There might be some minor patterns might be start forming that suggest the pullback out from the resistance, or as I said, watch for neckline. If market drop it down, that will be the signal that probably it makes sense to consider taking the short positions, because it could mean that this hand shoulders is done and we're ready to go lower with the major trend on the Great British Pound.